The June 23rd, 2026 School Board Special Meeting and Workshop is called to order. Ms. Tresky, please call the roll.
Here.
Mr. Link.
Here.
Dr. Jamison.
Here.
Ms. Quintana.
Here.
Ms. Trigg.
Here.
Mrs. Watkins. Mrs. Apel.
Here. Thank you to all of those attending the meeting in person and those that are joining us via the RCPS YouTube channel. We also welcome our incoming school board members who are able to be with us this evening, Ms. Littlepage and Mr. Cackness. So good to see you all again since yesterday. Yes, they are invested, literally. Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to amend the agenda?
I move to amend the agenda by changing item C, reappropriation, discussion of section 5, board items from a discussion item to an action item for the board to consider and vote on the proposed reappropriations at this meeting.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Cherry, seconded by Dr. Jamison. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of amending the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. And the motion carries, so the agenda is amended. Now, is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Quintana, seconded by Mr. Cherry. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. And the agenda is approved as amended. Moving on to the personnel list. Is there a motion and a second to approve the personnel list as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Link, seconded by Dr. Jamison. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. And the motion carries, and the personnel list is approved. Moving on to the superintendent's reports. Dr. White, please provide the superintendent's updates.
Thank you, and good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the school board. Tonight, we're bringing forward two items for your consideration: appointment of the superintendent's designee and authorization of signatures in the absence of the superintendent. As you know, we typically complete these items as part of the organizational section at your July meeting. However, I'm not able to attend the July 14th meeting, so we'll need to appoint the designee now so that they may take my place at that meeting. So before we get to our agenda items, a few highlights and items for the board and for the public's information. As I shared last week with our community, I will be retiring at the end of the upcoming 26-27 school year, which will mark my 35th year in public education and my 7th year as superintendent of Roanoke City Public Schools. And what an honor and blessing all of that has been. It's been a wonderful journey and a blessing to serve Roanoke as well. And I will continue to lead throughout the course of the next year with the same passion and service that have guided me throughout my career. I'm committed to ensuring a stable transition and supporting this board in your forthcoming search process. And so I want to thank our community for their outpouring of support, the love and support that you have shown me over the past several days since Thursday has been incredible. Thank you for the outpouring of love and support from this board as well. I appreciate your partnership and continued partnership as we forge ahead in the upcoming school year. So again, I've received many messages, and again, all of those just really touch my heart. And I won't talk about that too long because I'm not going to cry tonight. So I'm just deeply, deeply appreciative and honored to serve the students and staff and community related to Roanoke City Public Schools. So thank you for that honor. In that same vein, I do want to be transparent and make the public aware of 2 times that I will be out over the next few months. So as I said, I will need to miss the July school board meeting. In addition, this fall, I will be taking a week of furlough, just like all central office administrators. And during that time, of which I will receive no pay, just like the furlough time for our other central office administrators. And I will be attending a professional learning opportunity for superintendents in Oxford, England, to which I have had the honor of being invited. And again, this will be on my time, and I will be paying my own expenses. And so I just want everyone to know that there will be no expense to the school division and no expense to, that will be no taxpayer dollars involved in this trip. So I've been invited, and so my husband and I are going to take advantage of that professional learning opportunity, and I wanted to be transparent about that. And again, so then next, for last week, Mr. Freeman and I had the honor of attending the annual B'nai B'rith Awards Banquet, where Elijah Thomas of William Fleming received this year's Male Athletic and Achievement Award. Congratulations to Elijah. This is a prestigious annual award that honors outstanding student athletes around Roanoke and the New River Valleys who demonstrate academic, scholastic, and community achievement. In addition, the ceremony also honored all of our school's nominees, which included Zen Wadjet of William Fleming and Neve Murphy and William Fowler of Patrick Henry. So again, congratulations to all of our students, Elijah, and all of our nominees as well. So congratulations to them. So we're proud of our babies. So we also had a great first week of our summer programs last week, and we are excited to have many students back in our buildings this summer. So thank you to our many administrators and our teachers and staff members who are working this summer to support our students. So hats off to our teachers and administrators and our students for working this summer. So again, I encourage our families and staff to attend one of our Summer Stock Academy performances of, guess what this year's performance is? SpongeBob. SpongeBob, the SpongeBob the Musical. It's the youth edition.
Aye, aye, Captain.
And so we'll put that on later this week, and that should be a lot of fun. If you've ever been to any of our summer stock performances, you know that our students are incredible. It's all under the direction of our staff members, Whitney Johnson, and our students are amazing and very, very talented. And they've been hard at work preparing and learning the show in just under 2 weeks. They've been, and they learn all of it, the choreography, all of it in 2 weeks' time. And so it's just absolutely amazing. So they will be performing at Patrick Henry High School on Thursday and Friday at 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. So again, I want to say thank you to our fine arts supervisor, Whitney Johnson, and the many parents and staff and high school students who are working so hard to support our 5th through 8th graders in this great program. And finally, we are excited to host a 1-year anniversary celebration of our Community Empowerment Center. We're also excited about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library kickoff. It is time. And this event in the celebration is called Imagine Roanoke, a family literacy celebration. And it will be held from 3 to 5 p.m. on Tuesday, July 7th at our Community Empowerment Center, where we will register families for the Imagination Library, provide free books and other literacy activities, have resources from the community partners present, and even have the Freedom First ice cream truck on site to provide a free sweet treat for everyone. So we encourage our families and future families and staff and community partners to attend. So again, hats off to our team for organizing this event, and I know that it's going to be a good time. So I hope that if you're listening in, that you will join us for that special event. So now if we get to the approval of the appointment of superintendent's designee, To begin the report this evening, the Virginia Department of Education requires that a superintendent's designee be appointed to act on behalf of the division in the superintendent's absence. It is recommended that Mr. Chris Perkins, whose title starting on July 1st will be Chief of Staff and Operations, be appointed as the superintendent's designee to act on behalf of the division in the absence of the superintendent. This does require action from the board. So, Madam Chair, back to you.
Thank you, Dr. White. Is there a motion and a second to approve the superintendent's recommendation for Mr. Christopher Perkins, Chief of Staff and Operations, as the superintendent's designee for the period July 14, 2026 through July 13, 2027?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Link, seconded by Dr. Jamison. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. And the motion carries. Mr. Chris Perkins, Chief of Staff and Operations, is approved as the superintendent's designee for the period July 14th, 2026 through July 13th, 2027.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And next, we have the approval of signatures in my absence. The Virginia Department of Education requires official documentation of individuals authorized by the school board to sign state documents in the absence of the superintendent. It is recommended that signature authorization be granted to the following individuals effective July 1st. Chief of Staff and Operations, Chris Perkins; Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Cynthia Williams; Chief Student Support and Organizational Engagement Officer, Archie Freeman III; and Chief Financial Officer, Kathleen Jackson. This also requires board action.
Thank you, Dr. White. So continuing with the superintendent's recommendation for authorizations, is there a motion and a second to approve the recommendation for authorized signatures in the superintendent's absence for the period July 14th, 2026 through July 13th, 2027 as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Link, seconded by Dr. Jamison. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. And the motion carries. Chief of Staff and Operations, Mr. Christopher Perkins; Chief Student Support and Organizational Engagement Officer, Mr. Archie Freeman III; Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Cynthia Williams; and Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Kathleen Jackson, are hereby approved and authorized to sign on behalf of the superintendent in the event of her absence during the period of July 14th, 2026 through July 13th, 2027.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Dr. White. So moving on, we now move to a special item on our agenda, recognizing a valuable member of our board. So I think okay, Mr. Cherry, I'm passing it on to you.
All right, this is a resolution honoring Christopher T. Link. Whereas Christopher T. Link faithfully served as a member of the Roanoke City School Board during the period February 3rd, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, which means it's not over yet, representing the board at various school events, community functions, and meetings with city officials. And whereas Mr. Link dedicated his time and leadership to numerous committees, including the Curriculum and Instruction Committee, Disciplinary Committee, Boundary and Feasibility Committee, Budget and Capital Expense Committee, and Transportation Committee. And whereas Mr. Link utilized his experience as a professional engineer and skilled project manager to bring technical expertise and analytical insight into discussions on budgeting and capital projects. And whereas Mr. Link advocated for all students and teachers through his dedicated service of the school board. Therefore, be it resolved that the Roanoke City School Board, on behalf of its patrons and citizens, extends its sincere appreciation and thanks to Christopher T. Link for his dedicated service to the children of this community, given under our hands and the seal of the Roanoke City School Board this 23rd day of June in the year 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Cherry. So is there a motion and a second to adopt the resolution of appreciation for Mr. Christopher T. Link in recognition of his leadership and service to our schools?
Moved. Second.
Moved by Dr. Jameson, seconded by Ms. Quintana. Is there any discussion? Ms. Trigg, do you have anything you would like to say?
Can't go. Chris, you're definitely going to be missed. It's been an honor to work alongside of you. It's been wonderful being a part of meeting your family. And we're not going to say goodbye, but we're going to say see you soon.
Thank you, Ms. Trigg. Ms. Quintana?
You already know how I feel about you, and I'm just thankful and grateful that I was able to sit next to you for the last year and a half. Not only did I learn a lot, laughed a lot, but also was able to see a different point of view. So thank you for all that you brought to the board and to myself.
Thank you, Ms. Quintana. Dr. Jameson?
Chris, you came on as an unexpired term, and it's already hard when you're a new board member. You're drinking from a fire hose.
Oh, yeah.
To come into the middle of someone else's term is an extra special thing that you did for us and with us. And you did it with so much enthusiasm and joy and critical thinking. And you asked hard questions. And that's all we can ask of anybody on this board. You did everything there was to do to get over that learning curve and to really help us start to shape deliberations differently and more thoughtfully and holistically because you were here. You deserve to be here. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Dr. Jameson. Vice Chair Cherry?
Again, I said it upstairs, and it holds true. People really do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. And again, I want to thank you simply for caring enough to do this work. Again, this work is not easy, and the way you served with poise and decorum, again, it just does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. You'll be greatly missed. I appreciate you, and again, we'll see you soon.
Dr. White?
Thank you. Mr. Link, I just want to say on behalf of the staff, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your guidance and governance. Thank you for bringing a great deal of integrity and thoughtfulness to this work. Thank you for your partnership, and because that's important that we are partners in this work. And so you've been all in since day one, and so you will be missed. And so thank you again on behalf of the staff.
Mr. Link, would you like to say a few things? You
I'm ready to
may.
do this twice. It has been a personally enriching experience, and thank you for tolerating me. And thank you for the opportunity to watch you all work. It's a real honor.
Thank you, Mr. Link. And now I get to say just a couple things. And I loved hearing the impact that you've made. And sometimes when you're doing governance, it's hard to see the trickle down of what impact you have made. But you have done so in a short amount of time, even with the people that have been close enough here on this board to get to work with you. Joy and critical thinking do go together in you. And so that is much appreciated. And I just want to close this portion before we get out your framed resolution and probably do some pictures and say, advocacy and voice are not confined to a term or a microphone.
That's right.
So thank you for being here, but you don't have to stop either of those just because you won't be here at the next one.
Yes, ma'am.
Want us to come around?
Pictures?
I go out too. Right?
Yes, come on around.
Ms. Fail, Mr. Cherry, Dr. White to join, Mr. Link up front.
Down in the front? Okay. That.
Oh. The middle, yeah.
They'll have to peek through the,
Yeah, to
whatever
the-
hole
yes.
Chris leaves. Right out? Okay.
Right now.
Am I gonna make everyone in the room get up here?
That's up to you. I have a window. I have a window. I heard about the prom pose thing.
Come on, guys.
Come on. Come on up.
Come on, come on, come on.
I say, come on.
Come on, come on. Come on, come on.
If you're in the room.
Come on. Mr. Cagnes, everybody in the room. Get used to it. It is an on-demand thing.
At everything, yes, at everything,
Yep.
at everything.
You're lucky you're not being asked to speak without being told ahead of time.
You can see everybody. Absolutely good. On three, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna take one step to my left. On three, 1, 2, 3. Great job.
All right. Are we wobble, 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 wobble? Wobble, wobble, wobble. How are you? Yeah. We can't talk. Have a good time. Good work. You're gonna have a good time.
Okay, now to the work of the board. So we have gone through this. We've discussed the evolution of the student representative roles and board member communication. We've done, the school board member development committee has really evolved this year, and I look forward to where it will go next year to be discussed at the, organizational meeting in July. I'm really proud of the work that we've done this year, because the things that are on this list, we were purposeful about discussing, approaching, not forgetting, and doing the work. So anyway, so thank you all for putting in the work this year, because you really did it as a team. So thank you all for that. On to item C, the discussion of the reappropriation discussion. So we have amended the agenda so that there is an action item this evening. And I just want to preface, as we go into this, this is in reference to the appropriation for monies towards learning cottages or trailers or modulars to address high school overcrowding. And just some backstory on this, because it wasn't that long ago that we requested these monies for these things, but this was the first year where there was an application for true-up funds because of policy changes. So it was the first time that we had ever done that. There was discussion about what would be the best application of those monies in our division, knowing that they're one-time monies and things like of that nature. And then after those conversations had been had, then the funding policy also changed again. And we were well into our budget development cycle, and it has been at the fore for a number of months. And even still, there will be a budget amendment now that there's something passed at the state level, so that we can get the final budget approved. But so it has been a work in progress throughout, specifically this school year, to get prepared for fiscal year 27. So, and the fiscal realities have been stark, and they're no longer abstract. They are real. We know what we know we're starting to see the impact, but I don't think we'll really know the full impact of our budget contractions until next year and years beyond. And so with that said, the board is evaluating if pulling the trigger on the trailers is the best decision for fiscal stewardship for this division. So with that said, is there a motion for the reappropriation of unspent appropriated balances from City Council Ordinance Number 43339-012026?
Madam Chair, I move to request the reappropriation of the unspent appropriated balances from City Ordinance or Council Ordinance Number 4339-012026 as follows. $1,300,000 in funding for contingency items for fiscal year 2027, $3 million in one-time funding for capital improvement and related capital maintenance costs to restore deferred and eliminated budget items as identified publicly during FY '27 budget development and annual capital development initiative reports. All funds to be used will be used to maximize longevity of RCPS facilities and reduce future costs.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Dr. Jameson, seconded by Ms. Quintana. Is there any discussion? Ms. Trigg, is there anything you would like to say or to start the discussion for us about these monies?
I don't have any comments.
Ms. Quintana, is there anything you'd like to say or ask or contribute to the discussion about these monies?
We need to do this. Let's just go. Let's go. Let's do this. We need to position ourselves in a better place, especially to reduce future costs.
Mr. Link,
This is my last at-bat. I am, whether we manage our finances with a fund balance or with a contingency, the decision between that is agnostic. Both are accepted models. I am uneasy that what we've heard from Ms. Jackson in the past, that the general consensus is you hold a contingency of 1 to 5% of your budget. This gets us to 1%. This gets us to the bare minimum. And well, I think even just last year, we had a swing in health insurance premiums that of 5 million, right? That would eat this up and then some. An imperfect thing now is better than a perfect thing later. What makes me feel better about having this bare minimum of contingency funded is the fact that we've got 3 million in other funds that we can use to address hopefully lots of known knowns and reduce the number of unknown unknowns. But I wish we had more contingency.
can you enumerate why, or could Dr. White or her team speak to items that you're concerned about where you could foresee this contingency aside from healthcare, as noted from even as recent as one fiscal year ago, of why this contingency, why as a board we would support trying to increase our contingency category in our budget?
Yeah, and certainly, we have seen the rising costs, and Mr. Link, you're absolutely right. We saw that last year, and so we know that there are rising costs of fuel costs. We know that there are all kinds of other expenses, and we can see the effects of inflation. But we also know that if we defer maintenance, that's going to have a critical impact on the school division in other ways. It will impact our lawn services, it will impact our other maintenance kinds of services that we provide. So I do think, listening so far, that the way that the board, it sounds like you're intending to balance this, would double the contingency that we've already put in place, the 0.5% to 1%. So that will help with the unknowns of the inflationary costs. But it will address some of the one-time kinds of maintenance kinds of things so that we don't have a bigger problem
Sure.
later. So I want to say that it's not perfect, but I think that it would help in the immediate of us having a bigger problem later on.
Dr. Jameson, is there anything, did anyone have any further comments about contingency?
I guess my words are not intended to mean that I'm not supportive of the measure. I guess I would support it in leaning into the hope that future iterations of this board will continue to do what they can to fund the contingency. I mean, I would even advocate to the full 5%. I feel like that is the most responsible thing we could do over the future. I don't think we're recreating the fund balance. I think what we're recreating is fiscal responsibility that was in place with the fund balance. And there's a mechanism there that every year, should the city have priorities and pressing needs, there is this off-ramp each year that allows the city to deploy the funds as necessary. So I guess I support it in the hopes that in the future, we can see the funded contingency grow.
Yeah, I actually, thank you, Mr. Link. I'm going to speak to a couple of those things. I feel having more of a safety cushion, certainly all of us would have. There's a key difference between talking about a fund balance, though, and having a contingency line item. And one is the fund balance would carry over.
Sure.
And zero-based budgeting, that's not going to happen. And really what we have to do is spend as much as we can to zero, of course, with not going over. I think my concern is that when we defer maintenance, and I've been public about this before, that we had to make a lot of difficult decisions this year. And, if it is sustaining positions versus deferring maintenance, of course, we voted to defer maintenance. But if you defer maintenance, you are guaranteeing the need for a contingency fund.
100%.
You are guaranteeing an increase in the amount of contingency you will need. And the extent to which that we can invest in that this year, I think we give us another year of adjusting to the new economic realities. Because the other fact of the matter, we've also been quite public about, there isn't any room in this budget for a $5 million healthcare increase that we haven't already budgeted for. We're already going back to council to ask for more money,
Right.
or we are in the middle of the year in a major crisis, right? So this is the best, I mean, to me, this is mitigating the costs that we know we might, and we're increasing the likelihood of contingency if we don't do this deferred maintenance.
100%.
Because of 14,000 adorable human beings that like to be in buildings really hard. And a lot of this goes to ensure that those buildings are in as good a shape and as safe and systemically, as we've covered many times. I mean, anybody with questions can go back and look at any of the past presentations when we've presented the things that we cut. So in an ideal world, with a little less scarcity, I certainly take your point. But I actually would not even advocate for ever getting to 5%.
Okay.
That would be my, it's a whole new world in financial, you will figure it out. But 5% is likely, in all likelihood, because every dollar that you are putting in a contingency fund, of just in case, we're not spending on the kids. And that you're not spending on education, right? It's all for education, but, and it is important, it has an important budgetary place. But finding that right number, I don't know that anybody knows what it's going to be. So I would throw that out as my thinking of this distribution of funds. Thank you.
And I appreciate both of your perspectives. And I also wanted to note that the $1.3 million number here was on purpose to get us to
1%.
industry minimum. And so that's where that number came from. It wasn't made up out of whole cloth, but I appreciate also the sentiment that deferring maintenance guarantees the need for a contingency. And the recourse, this body does not have taxing authority. So our only recourse in a true budgetary emergency is to go to council and ask for it. That does not guarantee a financial solution to those problems, for example. So,
And if I could be clear, we have budgeted what we think are realistic and cushioned estimates for all of these things we're talking about. I would feel much less confident if I did not see the excellence in our budgeting system year after year that brings us in cost below revenues every year, right? I mean, if we did not have a system that consistently brought us in below revenue, I would feel even more anxious about this, which is why I think systemically we have to invest in those things that we know are going to reduce the need for contingency while we can, because that may not be a choice in coming years' budgets. We just don't know. I mean, that's going to be the next thing, so.
Vice Chair Cherry?
Yeah, again, this is where we are. I dare not say new normal, but it's just the reality that we're in. Grateful for what we do have, but it is, as you all have stated, it's a bare minimum. And it is for capital improvement and related capital maintenance costs. So again, directly for kids, it's arguable, but as we all say in operations, you need building, and these buildings need to be functional, and our maintenance needs to be where it needs to be for our kids to have somewhere to play safely and to engage their friends. So yeah, I am in support of this. Never been here before as a board and in my time here, but willing to push this through because we do need this funding. So.
Thank you, Mr. Cherry. And this is the last meeting that we have during fiscal year 26 as we're looking at fiscal year 27. So I also wanted to note that even with good, solid budgeting, we've had surprises, which is where contingency can come in. Just 3 weeks, I think, before school started last year, we had already appropriated funds frozen for after-school programming for our students before the first day of school. And there was already talk about what do we do when our hands are tied. And so that's where some of my motivation to support having a cushion in this contingency comes from. We also have the new reality as we have growing pains with our budget because of new funding policies, getting used to those that will help us. I'm in support of having a contingency to help us as we learn to budget better in this manner than we have before. But I also think that when we have one-time monies, we have to think about how can we best utilize them for the longest term gains.
Sure.
And so, we've had a lot of talk, and I have mentioned how everyone here has had a compromise on something that they valued in the budget that they felt supported the kids the most, or in a way that other things didn't. And so there are some things we're not discussing here tonight, and that's because these are one-time monies. And, if we fund something that's not that for next school year, for next fiscal year that we need again the next year, that's kicking the can down the road, and that's not helping. So we would like these monies to do as much work for us as possible and for our division, because that's our job as far as governing, strategic planning, and setting the budget. So with all that, does anyone else have any other questions, inquiries, comments for the discussion regarding this motion? Okay, so with all that said, is all those in favor of the motion for the reappropriation request of unspent appropriated balances from City Council Ordinance Number 43339-01-2026 as presented by Dr. Jameson, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Hearing none, the motion carries. The reappropriation request has been approved for forwarding to City Council. We have conversations with our council buddies and with council members who aren't officially our buddies all the time. But again, I encourage you all to make sure to reach out to them so that they have the context of why this is how this board has deemed we would request this to be the best utilization of these monies for our students. So. All right, moving on to future business. Does the board have any items for future business? We're at the tail end of June.
I sure don't.
Yes.
You know what, she really is.
Duly noted, Dr.
All right, so then we move on to a closed meeting. We have a closed meeting tonight. Is there a motion for the board to convene in a closed meeting?
I move that the board convene in a closed meeting to discuss specific Roanoke City Public Schools officers, appointees, or employees for the purpose of considering such person's assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salary, disciplining, or resignation pursuant to Section 2.2-3711A1 Code of Virginia, 1950, as amended, and to consult with legal counsel and briefings by staff members pertaining to actual litigation pursuant to 2.2-3711A7 of the Code of Virginia.
Moved by Dr. Jameson. Is there a second?
Second?
Seconded by Mr. Link. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Tresky, please call the roll.
Mr. Cherry?
Yes.
Mr. Link?
Yes.
Dr. Jamison?
Yes.
Ms. Quintana?
Yes.
Ms. Trigg?
Yes.
Mrs. Apel?
Yes. The board will now enter into a closed session to discuss only items within the approved motion. No other board business or decisions will be conducted during this session.